Alright, man, I told y'all. It's time to wake up from your spiritual slumber. Stand like a Christian. I said I stand like a Christian, talk like a Christian, walk like a Christian. I am a Christian, man, I am what I am by the grace of God, and I ain't turning my...
So, what you think about Brother Dill trying to put his hands on me?
He wouldn't gonna put his hands on you anyway, because if he would, I would throw him through that wall.
Well, he sure threatened like he was.
Well, considering that Brother Dill wants to bring my wife into this for no apparent reason, let me lay down the law right here. This is going to be my day to lay down the law to you, Brother Dill. See, you got to understand something. You got to understand something real clear. She was in the church when you were a part of the church. She was in the church before I was ever a part of the church. So for you to make an exclamation saying that she's helping the church with advantages while you have nothing, absolutely nothing going your way, is a false statement. Let me tell you why. Because she has never helped me when it comes to Beyond Calibur, to predictions. I have always submitted my predictions when I needed to. I have always won fair and square with my predictions. If I have received an advantage, it's because I earned that advantage. What have you earned, really? One title reign, but the rest of your time that you've been talking smack or trying to go behind our backs, you failed to deliver. So let me deliver some news to you. If you ever lay your hands on her again, if you ever try to reach out to her, if you even look at her with the slightest look that says you want to do something to her, trust me, I'm going to put you down into that ground. You may not come back up. But, all jokes aside, all sayings aside, everything else aside, brother, if you want to earn this title, you're going to have to earn it fairly, just like the rest of us in Beyond Calibur. If you think that anything is being handed over to anyone, then that is your own delusions. Even your brother, Strongman TJ, has said it is your delusions. Now let's go real quick between you and him. See, nobody knows where y'all two stand. And the reason that is because you're not being truthful with him. You're not telling him the full story before dragging him into some mess that you can't deliver. Mm-hmm. You cash checks that you can't cover yourself. Think about that for a second. And while you think about that, let me go on with this next set. See, this title right here, whether it goes to Preacher Man, whether it goes to Joe, whether it goes to Strongman TJ, whether it stays in my hands, we fight, and we fight, and we fight every time we do predictions to make sure it stays in our hands. We fight fairly. We fight clean. We don't ask for handouts. If we get an advantage, so be it. It's because the manager, the new manager for Beyond Calibur, has put it into effect that there is an advantage. But make no mistake, whether we have the advantage or not, we still fight. What do? Whenever you don't get an advantage or something handed your way, you cry, you complain, you run that mouth as if it's going to matter. It ain't going to matter to nobody.
Let me just say something. And you want to say that, I cheat for him, I do this, I do that. Well, if that was the case, then you wouldn't have had Joe win multiple times. You wouldn't have had you won that one time. Josh would be winning every single time if I was cheating for him. He'd be winning every time.
To put it on perspective of that as well, if that had been the case, when you were a part of the church with Preacher Man, both of y'all would have had it then.
Listen. That's the thing. You forget something, Bill. The church, I own it. I started the stable. I brought it from the ground up. If she was cheating for the church, don't you think the leader of the church would have had this title by now?
Yep.
Come on now.
Let me make one thing abundantly clear. As right now, you are not going to see this title anytime in your future. But if you are going to, then you are going to have to do exactly what the rest of us are doing, and that is going to be to fight fairly, to fight as hard as you can. Get those predictions in, buddy. Make sure they are as close to perfect, if not perfect, as possible. Because if you don't, you'll keep falling short. And you can't blame anyone, not even her, on your failures. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it back over to them. But mark my words, you raise your hands, you raise your eyes in a negative way towards her again, and I'm going to put you to sleep.
Not only that, but Miss Lily Cassidy will also be getting involved. You're lucky I ain't pressing charges this time, but if it happens, you will be disqualified from any future events that happen. You will not get the title. You will not be able to participate in anything, so you better watch out, because I'm being nice.
And you forget the whole reason the contracts was made in the first place was to keep my anger in check and not to lash out. And you got a taste of that last time. Next time, I'm not going to hold back. And all God's people said.
Amen.
Amen.